I'm Richard Porter.
I'm Johnny Smith.
And this is Smith and Sniff, a podcast in which two friends talk about cars and many other things. Before we go any further, because otherwise we'll forget, I should just give a little plug to our next live show at Bicester Heritage on the 19th of July. It's sold out. We asked the little car company who are hosting it with us if they could put some extra chairs in.
Yeah.
And they've said that they can. So that allowed us to release some extra tickets. So as we speak...
An extra keg of beer as well.
An extra keg of warm stones that they found behind an old Rotary Club in Wakefield has been acquired. So
I love the fact you're doing this. At first, I was offended that you only going to go for a small plug. I thought this needs to be a large plug, and then you immediately announced we're sold out, and it's like, well, okay.
Well, no, that's the thing. So,
it started to sound like Porsche releasing GT cars.
Yeah, there's a new one. You can't buy it.
Yeah, all us journalists go, can we drive it? And they'll go, yeah. But the thing is, we've kind of already sold them, so we don't really need to do the hard sell anymore. So
yeah. So we don't care what you think.
Yeah.
Or Ferrari. That's what we should do, actually, the next live show. Just go, no, you can't come to this live show unless you've come to 6 other live shows and bought a load of merch.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You need to spend in excess of £140 on merch, and then we will let you buy a ticket to...
Well, we'll think about letting you.
Yeah. That's the Ferrari
we're not
approach.
sure.
But, of course, there's nothing wanky about that. So just bear that in mind.
Absolutely fine. It's their absolute right to behave like extortionate crooks.
Listen.
Anyway, so, yes, we're making a hash of plugging it. But, yes, there's another live show on the 19th of July. This is currently the only planned live show we have now for the summer. We're probably not going to do one in August because people are on holiday, and then hopefully we'll regroup in September or October. But for now, there are no more live shows except this one on the 19th. Wednesday the 19th of July at Bicester Heritage in the big hangar there, in association with Little Car Company. There's going to be beer from the Wrigley Monkery.
That's right, yeah.
Wrigley Monkey Brewery. And there'll be some food from a hot doggy type van, but not hot dogs. I don't know we're still working that one out. But there will be food, there will be booze if you want it, or soft drinks if you don't, and there'll be lots of the Little Car Company's products, including that brilliant
the new
life-size Tamiya RC car,
which isn't RC obviously because you can drive it, adults and children.
It's electric and you can drive it, and so they'll have that there. Have a poke around that. We've seen it, haven't we? We saw the prototype a while ago. It looks excellent.
It does.
Come along.
Please come along.
There's
more seats. There's more seats that have been laid out. And
more chairs. But we have to tell the seat people how many seats we want, and also that has a knock-on effect to Luz and staff, and how many barrels of warm stones if you don't want the excellent Wrigley Monkey beer.
Maybe it's a Ferrari approach. If you tell us now you're going to order it in excess of 4 pints, we will then double the toilet facilities. Okay, but we need to know this now.
When you buy a ticket, do tell us how much of a heavy drinker you are. But I presume there won't be much heavy drinking because people will be driving. But
I think so too. But then there could be, I don't know, some people heavy pulsing on the food stuff front. So lots of pulse-based dinners.
At the time of recording, we have tickets available. So we'll put links on the socials, or go to smithandsniff.com and follow the link to live shows, and hopefully you can still buy a ticket there when you listen to this. But maybe not. There aren't actually that many left when I looked this morning, but we'll see.
Don't worry. Look, if demand is high enough, we may do something in the back end of the summer, but we're just not that organised at the moment, and we haven't.
Organised. Simply aren't.
Sorry.
We are sort of working on it, as in, like, we know where we'd like to go next.
Yeah.
And the other thing I've got to plug while we're in a plugging mood
is
our
plugging
merchandise,
away,
because
aren't you?
Well, because we had a proper kind of buzzness call yesterday where we went, right, what are we doing with the merch? And Lisa, who works with us, pointed out that we never mention it. And that's why it probably doesn't sell much.
We're a pair of thimble dicks, that's why.
So we have T-shirts. We have Spout T-shirts. We have, on that side of things, T-shirts. We have the same designs in mugs and
decals.
And decals, yeah, stickers. We have stickers. You can have all of those Spout on that side of things. It'll do this all day with a static engine on it. I think our most popular design on mugs, we are still trying to get that on T-shirts, but the design is fiddly and hard to print, so we may have to change it.
We're trying to work. Yeah, it is our most popular mug, the Steam Rally Wrongen mug. And there's a decal available in that same style.
And our next project is, we hope, going to be a new sticker that goes on the inside of the back window of your car and looks like a car dealer sticker. That's the plan.
Don't tell them the ideas, Richard. You complete
so they can rip them off. Anyway, so go to the merch shop again. Go to smithandsniff.com, follow the link to merch. It'll take you to our Shopify, and please buy an T-shirt or an mug, and we will have some more things for sale soon, and then we'll probably forget to mention them.
Yeah, I'm only laughing because I've just looked at my little note list of things we haven't mentioned on Smith and Stiff yet, and I wrote down, is King Tut King Shit? Sorry, it just really tickles me. So no disrespect to Tutankhamun, obviously, but referred to as King Tut. But obviously, if you're from a certain part of the UK, Tut means poo. So does that mean he's
Which
king?
part of the UK is it? Because I always associate Tut with Alan Sir Lord Sugar.
Yes, it's Lord.
He's always going, now you brought me a load of right Tut. And he is actually saying shit, isn't he?
Yes.
In that respect. Now, he's from London.
I think it's a certain London colloquialism.
Tut is spelt T-U-T, right?
Yeah, like Tutankhamun, isn't it? King Tut is...
Well, I've just looked this up. The Cambridge Dictionary says Tut, as in...
Oh, so he's the king of just being dismissive and also shit.
the king of sort of passive aggressively disapproving of things.
Do you know what I
no, I can't find it here.
Would you rather be King Richard, who was found under a car park in Leicester, or would you rather be King of Shit? You got the choice. It's up to you. Sorry about that. It just tickles me every time.
Well, I mean, obviously I'd be King Richard because I wouldn't have to change my name. And
exactly, you're subterranean car park warrior, king.
Yeah,
I'm just the king of turds. So yeah. Talking of which, someone came up to me at the live show and said, "Johnny, you do realise you never finished that story when you were interviewing Chris Harris on your Idle Chat video on the Late Break Show. You never finished the story about the teaspoon in the bottom in Germany." And then he just walked off.
Oh my Christ!
And he just walked away.
But you've never told me that story, and I think it's partly because I have never asked.
Do you want to know?
Because maybe
is this the right time, or do you want me to tell you about the fact that I'm convinced Sterling Moss isn't dead? Because I saw him.
Let's go with that one, shall we?
Well, okay. I think I saw Sterling Moss yesterday.
Right.
There was this guy driving the other way, and honestly, it was such a doppelganger. It was ridiculous. He even had the right stature, the mannerism behind the wheel. You know where, bless him, Sterling Moss used to sort of, he'd drive with this, or look with his head back a bit, like he was looking down his nose, but not in a rude manner. It was just the way he looked. This guy was...
Yeah, it was almost like he was just being more aero somehow.
Yeah, probably was a bit more nasally aero. And this guy driving the other way was doing the same head position, the hands on the wheel. Honestly, I very nearly crashed. I thought, that's bloody Sterling Moss. What car was he in?
Driving a Mille Miglia liveried 300 SLR?
Tragically, he wasn't. He was driving a Jag S-Type. In burgundy wine colour. Not an old one, a 2000s one. Or late 90s. Which is not a Sterling Moss car, really.
No.
I can't... Because he didn't do big cars that weren't exceptionally sporty, I don't think.
Well, he was a smart man, wasn't he, in his later years?
He was
as in smart, the cars, not like he was well-dressed. He was that too.
He was smart and smart. Yeah, he was a smart guy. I loved his smarts. Yeah. I think he used to go and collect his rent money in his smarts, I was told. Which is true, because he invested in lots of houses, didn't he, with his lots of his earnings, he put it into property very early on. Yeah. Became basically a landlord. I'm sure there's someone listening to this who we've probably had Sterling Moss as a landlord at some point. Can you imagine him coming round, actually, in his smart?
What, to fix a leaky sink or something?
Yeah, he's one of those landlords where he could afford to just have a man on speed dial, but in this instance, he kind of weighed it up and went, do you know what? I can probably do that myself.
I want to know it's been done properly, old boy. I'll come round myself. And he'd turn up. He was, I think, was he one of those older chaps who used to like braces?
Yes, I think he
used to wear braces.
Yeah,
I
think so.
I've seen him with braces on.
In
his later years.
He'd be trying to align the sort of the UPVC patio doors that don't ever quite fit together properly. He'd be trying to realign those, but he'd have cufflinks on. One of those shirts that's white on the inside, or blue on the inside and white on the outside. You know, the two-tone shirts that always look extra smart. He would be doing that, but he'd have
braces. Lovely, well-cut pair of slacks.
He'd have the drop-down tailgate of the Smart, which to this day I still think is fantastic, because everyone associates the double drop-down tailgate as the sort of the large SUV kind of Range Rover hallmark, but it's also on the Smart, and I think it can carry up to 100 kilos.
Why was that? Tight spaces, you could just pop the top and drop your shopping bags into the boot, maybe?
That's a good idea. Is it because the roof of the car's low, so even if the tailgate went up quite high, it would still hit people in the face? I don't know. Someone will know this. Have you ever had a Smart picnic? I've had a Smart picnic. It was wonderful.
No, I haven't.
It's really, really lovely.
Was it with Sterling Moss?
I wish it was with Sterling Moss. I never had a picnic with him. Or anything to eat with him, frankly. But I know a few of our mutual colleagues did, and him and his wife, always delightful. Yeah. So
your conviction that Sterling Moss is still driving the streets of the East Midlands is like when peak Salman Rushdie in hiding.
Yes.
When the fatwa was on his head.
Yes. We've all been there.
My friend Simon and me were convinced that, in fact, he'd simply moved to Wilmslow in Cheshire and was driving around in a white Nissan Sunny. Because we used to see this guy, more than once we saw him, who we were absolutely convinced was Salman Rushdie.
So you had Wilmslow Rushdie tooling around?
Wilmslow Rushdie, yes, exactly.
That's brilliant.
I presume it wasn't. In fact, I know it wasn't, because I subsequently discovered that Salman Rushdie, his sort of safe house where he lived while he was under the fatwa was not that far from where I used to live in London.
Really? How long was he in hiding for? He was in hiding for several years.
Yeah. No, a long time.
I would have got really...
He had the house like totally modified, so it had got, sort of massively beefed up security, and I think like a panic room and stuff.
Bloody hell.
I think he had sort of constant police guard.
I have a hunch about Salman Rushdie. If he was in hiding all that time, and let's face it, you'd get exceptionally frustrated and bored, and you'd need to get out and about for sanity reasons and exercise reasons. Keep your wits about you. Was he a member of the Midnight Club?
What, in his white Nissan Sunny?
I'm thinking he had a Sunny GTIR, if you remember those.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Rushdie, although he was in hiding, he had cash, didn't he? Because his book it sold a lot.
He's from that generation of novelists where you could become fantastically wealthy and famous off being a novelist. Like Martin Amis and Ian McEwan, people like that.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, whilst in hiding, using nothing but facsimiles, he could probably get the car collected, taken to a tuning shop, and have an enormous amount of JDM style componentry fitted to it. All with exciting names like Blitz and Jun. And, and then he'd go out in the early hours as a sort of silent member of the Midnight Club, probably wearing prosthetics as well, I'm going to say.
Yeah. And where his house was, it's on the Bishop's Avenue in North London. It's famously sort of very expensive street. Really, you're just off the A1.
You are.
So you are straight up.
Oh, what?
Out of London, on the A1.
Rendezvous at the Hatfield Galleria, if you needed to.
Exactly, yeah. Or that really depressing service station. What's it called?
Oh, I know the one.
You know the one.
Yeah, I do know the one.
Anyway, or one of those really sort of Grotmaggian murders petrol stations further up the A1 that are always a bit unsavoury, but you could meet there. It depends where his mates are coming from, I suppose.
Rushdie loved a Grotmag, I'm sure.
If he was a bit early.
Good for morale. Good for morale, right?
Daz, who'd got a really tuned up Supra, was coming down from Sheffield to meet him, sort of meet halfway. He's got a bit of time on his hands. He's like, well, there's no one around. I mean, it's 1 a.m. All the truckers are asleep, but the shop's still open. I'm going to pop in and get a couple of bongo pamphlets to thumb through, maybe take back to my safe house later, because obviously it's hard to buy smut regularly. I have to ask one of my police guards to go and get me some.
Oh, there's nothing better, I find, than doing street racing with a hefty pile of Mayfair and Knave
sliding around in the back seat,
and you're constantly getting the warning coming up that someone hasn't put their belt on, but it's actually just pornography.
Well, because he's got that much. Rushdie's rub mags on his back seat.
Yeah, and in the middle
he wasn't even that fussed about the Drifto and Midnight Club stuff. He just wanted to go to a remote petrol station that's stocked ample range of gentlemen's
Rushdie's trying to case out some sort of hilly region in order to do some early hours cash in hand 2 gay. But of course, all he's being hampered by, his concentration when he's trying to be the better helmsman, is the bloody seatbelt warning bong that's constantly bonging. So, maybe he has a Grotmag safe house, which is the spare wheel well. As we all know, that's the universal place to put things that you don't want people to find.
I'm just going to go to my safe house. A load of adult literature and a couple of cans of Breaker Lager stashed in there.
Amazing.
For when he gets back home.
Oh, gosh, just think of that.
What a life.
What a life.
It's funny he never mentions this, but it's we've clearly cracked it open now. I mean, I presume, this is what got him through. This now, talking of JDM cars, have you seen, I just spotted the other day on Piston Heads, there's a Honda Beat for sale.
Oh.
And it looks lovely. It's really base spec, so it's got the Steelies on it, it's red, and it's not been mucked with.
Wow.
It's just pure. I mean, I'm not even sure I could fit in a Honda Beat. I've never tried.
I don't think
but
they're
I really kind of want one.
I've got a friend who's bigger than me, and he owns a Beat.
Oh.
He won't mind telling me that. He's a big fan of it, but he said it's not easy, but he can get in it. But I believe the arch rival of the Beat, the Suzuki Cappuccino, which is which I actually think I prefer.
Okay.
I don't think you can fit in those.
No, I don't. I think I have tried to get in a Cappuccino and it wasn't successful.
And I really, it's a car I'd be tempted to buy, but I'm not buying another car I can't fit in because I've been there. It's just not great.
Yeah, you've made that. You've made that mistake.
It's just really not recommended spending thousands of pounds on a car you literally can't drive properly because you can't get behind the wheel.
No, I'm just looking at this Beat again.
The Beat was front-wheel drive, wasn't it?
No, mid-engine, dude. It was mid-engine rear-wheel drive.
Oh, gosh,
it was basically like a sort of someone had accidentally put an MGF on a hot wash and then gone, oh shit,
that's right.
It's not going to fit anymore.
I forgot it was mid. So it's the sort of the NSX Mini, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
We talked about Pajero Minis the other month.
Yes. See, I'm not interested in those because I think Pajero's a wank. But a Honda Beat. Honda Beat.
Do you know what I saw the other day, which I'm definitely going to... I will revisit it at some point. I know you don't like Pajeros, but the Pajero Evolution. Oh,
I kind of like
those. Come on. I mean, a homologation-y two-door off-roady SUV-ish thing. It's not SUV. It wasn't luxury at all. But yeah, very, very cool. Very cool device.
I'll tell you, I don't want a Pajero Evolution, but I would like you to have one. So I could come and look at it.
Yeah, I know. There's cars like that I know. Yeah, in fact, when you had that supercharged Jag, the XJR, that's one of those cars that I'd really like to have access to one, but I'm not sure I want to own one. Do you know what? It's a bit like stroking your dog, and that's not a euphemism. I really like coming and saying hi to your dog, and maybe we'd go out for a walk with it or whatever, but I don't want to live with it, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's like that. Do you ever find, though, once you've had children, then if you see a baby, you get that sudden sort of rush of, I don't know, nostalgia? You just get a kind of slightly kind of gooey, wistful feeling, and you just like, and if there's someone we know had a baby, and they go, "Oh, do you want to hold the baby?" Of course you want to hold the baby. It's lovely, and you go, "Oh, baby's nice," but don't want another one.
Yeah, I
had two. Fine now, they're bigger.
Yeah, you remember the excitement and the jubilation, but you also remember the just sheer tiredness and survival that went on, just the basic survival. So true. I forgot to tell you the other week when I was in America. I forgot to tell you that I was in a restaurant having dinner with Ant Anstead and his partner and a couple of mutual friends of ours.
I love the way you've just skated past that.
And Mika Hakkinen was in there. He walked out.
What?
Mika Hakkinen was in there in this restaurant near Laguna
Actual
Beach.
Mika Hakkinen, or is this another? Oh, look, there's Sterling Moss having lunch.
No,
with Mika Hakkinen
it was totally Mika Hakkinen.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was.
Did he say hello? Like, did he recognise you or Ant or anyone? Or was he not first?
No, he didn't recognise us. He just kept going.
He didn't recognise Ant's partner, whose name we're not going to say.
I don't know if he saw Ant's partner that we're not going to name, but we'd been in there a while, and I think he'd been in there a while, but we just hadn't seen him, or he'd been in the back room or something. I don't know. All I know is
this in Laguna Beach.
Yes, yeah. My take home from it, because I always thought Hakkinen was a bit of a dude. Actually, I thought he always had something about him. He looked...
Excellent hair.
Yeah, excellent hair. He looked just like a school teacher. Just if you closed your eyes and you went, imagine a school teacher. This is no offence to any school teachers out there. I'm just saying, Mika Hakkinen looked like a sort of smart but not particularly stylish man of a certain age, just walking out of a restaurant. And if you didn't know, you didn't know. And I suggest most of the people in the restaurant had no idea it was Mika Hakkinen. But Ant went, bloody hell, that's Mika Hakkinen. And I went, oh yeah, it is Mika Hakkinen. And that was that. And by that time he'd walked out. I wanted to see the shoes. I didn't see the shoes. I'm going to say there would have been loafers. I think these days, I think he would have been a...
Do you think?
Yeah, I think he's a loafer guy.
Or a very bright white off-brand Jerry Seinfeld spec trainer.
Jerry Seinfeld. You know what I mean? Yes, I do know.
Bought them in a big supermarket. Yeah. Like in the US, you'd buy them in Target. Like Target's got everything.
Larry David leisure shoe. Is that it?
Yes, exactly.
But I'm going to go with loafer, because he looked a little bit kind of golfing attire. He looked sort of like subdued golfing, not silly, Larry, daft golf.
Yeah.
That was the look that Hakkinen... Yeah, I don't know what he was driving, I would have loved to have known. What would be your hunch? What was he cruising? I assume he had a car that he owned there.
Yeah, but I wonder if he has a sweetheart deal with Mercedes, so he still gets... But what would he go for? SL? Maybe he just can't be arsed. He'd just have like a...
B-class.
Oh, God. He really can't be
arsed.
What's the cheapest that you do?
He's got an old Smart 4.4, you know, the one that's the Mitsubishi with the mask on.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's got one of them. He's got one of them.
What would he have, though? I mean... I think if he's dressed like a school teacher, I think he's probably just doesn't give a shit, does he? And it's like maybe he's one of those racing drivers who just goes, "There's no road car that could compare to the things that I have driven in my career.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to try.
No.
So you can keep your McLaren F1, you can keep your Enzo, whatever else you're thinking I might want. No. I've got a Lexus ES. The front wheel drive one.
No. Let's put some.
It's quiet. It's comfortable.
Let's put some method to this madness. You know about F1. When did he retire from F1? What year?
Ooh, shoot. When did he retire from F1? I'm going to look this up because I don't know, and I'll say the wrong year and people will be cross.
Yeah, they will. So you quickly look that up.
Hakkinen. There are people screaming at their phones because if you kind of one of those people, do you know how old Mika Hakkinen is?
I bet he's 60 now.
He's 54. He's not as old as I thought.
Oh, he looked older than that. No offence, Mika, obviously.
Did he? Oh, yeah. Right. There's a picture of him here on his Wikipedia page showing off his really excellent hair. 2008.
2008. Okay, so that is, that's later than I was expecting. We seem to have prematurely dated Mika Hakkinen unfairly.
No, I'm a bit annoyed because I was going to say 2007, and so I wasn't too far off. But yeah, 2008 apparently.
So I'm thinking he's still tooling around in a free Merc that he got around about that time.
Yeah. Oh, I see. It's the one that they gave him one last freebie, and he went, "I'll just keep that."
Yeah, and because he's not a greedy guy, he just keeps on top of it maintenance-wise. It's perfectly fine. But what would it be? 08. 08 was when the C-Class was good again. That's what I remember. I'm pretty sure when they revised the C-Class properly and went, this car deserves to be a 190E again. And they did a really good one. So is he an AMG guy? Has he got a C63?
Oh yeah.
And is it a wagon?
Having said, with misplaced confidence, I wonder if Hakkinen's one of those racing drivers who just goes, no road car can compare to a racing car, so I'm not going to bother.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, so this may not be true, but he has a collection of McLaren hypercars, all of which he keeps in Monaco. The collection includes a P1, a Senna, and a Speedtail.
Really? Okay, so we are so wrong on all of the Hakkinen descriptions.
He could, of course, just have these as an investment because he's probably quite he's a canny guy.
Do you think he's canny?
I don't know. He seems like he might be.
Well...
hang on. Hello. Now then. Also, extra hacker facts.
Hacker sack.
Here, again, this is hacky sack. That's, yes. He's embarked in a 20-year legal action claiming that he invented that game where you kick a little beanbag about with your shins, but no, it says here he's a brand ambassador for Mercedes-Benz and UBS, and in 2016 he became official brand ambassador for Nokian tyres.
Did he?
Says here.
I love that. It says here, quickly blame the literature. Blame the literature.
Well, I can't find a better source. I mean, I know Wikipedia is supposed to be sourced, but you can't. This is the thing. It says partners here. This is from 2015. Who are our partners? See, Hakkinen's not on this page anymore. This is out of date, this information. Lewis Hamilton here now.
Anyway. I'm going to, at the time of us recording this, the new BMW M2 has been launched.
Yeah.
And can I just put my hand up and say I'm getting a bit fed up with people saying how much they like the new M Sport cars, and they're getting around the looks of it. They're starting to see that it's okay because they're all lying. They're all lying.
Yeah, they're revolting, aren't they? The M2 looks like it's got a fiberglass shell because it's so sort of soft in places. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks like a mould.
The new BMW. So the M2 was the final good-looking, also the cheapest M car, and probably the most enjoyable in terms of sort of like unnecessary techno wank, and they've gone and, like you say, they've gone and just put some sort of horrible egg boxes, glass fibre egg boxes on each corner of it, and it just looks gash. And I'm cross. So now I'm officially not interested in BMW M Sport at all, because the last one that I was protective over, they've gone and flushed it down the drain. I'm really irritated.
Yeah, I know. But you liked that M3 Touring, didn't you? I mean,
I liked it a lot because it was damn fast, and it was very, very ego massagey. But it's an awful lot of money for a car that's still not very good looking and actually fussy. I'm getting very fed up with how fussy modern cars are. There's just too much of everything going on in every corner that you look. It doesn't have to be like this.
It's funny you mention that because I am currently testing a Peugeot 408, which I think is a nice looking car, but it does have a lot of lines and things on it.
It's too much.
It's just covered in lines. It's like I was looking out my kitchen window and the light was catching the front door of the car.
Yes.
And just on one door alone, there is a lot going on. It's sort of almost more than you take in at first, and then you kind of go, wait, there's a line runs off the front wing and then it tucks in a bit. But then there's another line drops down from that, and then there's something else comes from the back, and then there's a plastic trim at the bottom that's got its own little shit going on. It's a busy design, and overall, I do quite like it. I think it's interesting and it's different, and it's got, it's quite handsome from some angles. But you could take some of the lines off it, and I'm not sure it would look any worse. It might look a bit neater, in fact. And the interior is the same. It's quite busy somehow, the interior, and I'm not totally vibing with it. Also, I did a bunch of miles in it yesterday, and it gave me terrible thigh ache, which I haven't had in a car for a long time.
Thigh ache?
Yeah, my thighs hurt, and I don't know what it was. It was just, but I was just like, even my Panda, it's got, it's quite cheap and got small seats. That doesn't give me thigh ache.
I saw a young guy in an absolutely mint 100 horsepower Panda yesterday. Yeah, and I thought if Richard was here now, he'd be scrabbling to take a photograph.
What colour was it?
It was, I think it was silver.
Is it grey? Was it a sort of dark grey?
Yeah, probably grey. I'm colourblind, sort of like not. I don't think it was white.
My Panda is currently in pieces.
Is it?
Some slight, went in for MOT and service, but I also asked them to do a couple of things to it, and one of the things they did to it basically opened a Pandora's box of shit. So
gosh.
I'll update when I know more. But yeah, have you ever had that thing where you take it to a garage and then they find things and then you're too scared to ring them for an update because it's only going to be bad news, you think? So I'm sort of at that point. And I haven't got my Range Rover either, because although, the fault that I mentioned the other week, it just turned out to be a sticking brake caliper.
Yeah.
They're waiting for some parts, so I still haven't got that back. So as my wife pointed out, we as a household have 4 cars, and I currently can only drive one of them, and I can't actually because she's taking it to work. But yeah, the 2 of them in the garage, and the Defender is still in storage miles away, and I need to sort that out as well. It's suddenly realised that the kids went the other day. They went, when are we getting the green car back? Because I told them that I hadn't sold it. I've just put it away while we were moving and stuff. And they're like, when are we getting the green car back? And I was like, yeah, probably. Very first world problem, I appreciate, but yeah, it is. So yes, not all is good in Panda Town at the moment, but hopefully it'll be much better soon. And if they can get the bits for the brakes on my Range Rover, that'd be fab.
Well, if it makes you feel any better about yourself, Richard, I've got more cars than any normal person needs, and they're all needing a lot of work because I've used them all and not kept on top of the maintenance in the last probably 6 to 9 months. So everything's not entirely happy. Not broken. I'm not going to say broken, but just not entirely happy.
Is this...
Yeah.
Is it because you were being a little boastful when I said that my Range Rover had gone wrong? And let the record show, it is just a sticky brake caliper, which... Oh, by the way, there was a chap came up to us at the first London live show. He was there with his partner. I know their names, so I can identify them. I won't say them now so we don't get people, imposters, doing this. But you know who you are. I did promise you a Smith & Sniff mug because you were the first person to correctly identify what was actually wrong with my Range Rover just from my description, and you were right.
Oh, yeah,
so I bet that's a sticking caliper. Do you remember?
I remember them. Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah. Don't say their names because I don't want people going, yeah, that's me.
No, send a picture of your own real face to us. Email a picture of your face to us
yes,
and your wife.
We know who you are. But yes, a deal's a deal. I did say you can have a mug if you're right, and you were. But yeah, when I was saying that my Range Rover had gone wrong, you were boasting about how your Honda Element could do, I don't know, a lap of the world with no oil in it or something. Is it?
No, it's absolutely fine.
Behaving itself?
No, it's great. I just need to. I want to. The Element's actually really good. I've been using it a lot lately, but it's just one of those things where I'm aware of the fact that I want to have the valves, the tappets reset, because apparently it's quite crucial on the old K24 engine. And I can hear they're a little bit more vocal than I'd like. So I've logged that and gone, right, I'm going to do that, but at the same time I probably want to drop the oil and do the filters. And I'm a little bit irritated about the under heavy braking I get a little bit of wobble because I think the front discs are slightly warped, so I was going to upgrade the brakes at the front at the same time. So it's just like none of it, it's not like the car, I mean, it passed its MOT the other week, no problem. But it's not, none of it's broken. It's just logged for must do that before I pile on any more miles. To be honest with you, I'm missing having an electric car, so I'm sort of swooping around. I'm swooping around Ioniq 5s again, like I have done in the past. I know, Richard. I know. Sweet. Honestly, I keep coming back to it every time. It's just so pleasing. It's one of the few modern designs which still encapsulates me. It holds me. I'm entranced. I love it. I see it on the street. I think future classic. I bet my house on it. Such a sweet, sweet vehicle.
Right, just rein it in. Did you watch that George Michael at the BBC show that I recommended you to the other night?
Okay, I didn't. You bag of dirt. I didn't. No,
well, it's on iPlayer. You can watch it any time. No, just because I've been amusing myself. I watched it, and they've cheated a little bit because they've included things that were not him performing at the BBC. They were just like music videos that were shown on top of the pops. But that's fair enough. It means you get some extra content.
Yeah.
But they played the "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me" video
with Elton John
of him on stage, and then he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Elton John," and it reminded me. Somebody told me that. I can't remember where this came from. They were at a karaoke bar in Japan, I think, and this Japanese guy was doing the karaoke, but they'd included on the on-screen words, they'd included the "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Elton John." this guy doing it just did it, but then just carried on singing because they transcribed
that's authentic.
The whole thing.
That's authentic.
I know, but it's brilliantly strange, isn't it? It's just like, what do you think he's going to walk in? Because then I was thinking that George Michael could actually really fuck with Elton John at that gig and go, "Okay, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, well, thank you for that. That was great. And then he starts singing another song, and then just to fuck with Elton John, who's like just about to go for a piss, just do it again. You gotta have faith. The faith, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Elton John. Elton's like just unzipping. Oh, what the fuck? All right, back up to the stage. Okay, yeah, faith. Yeah, great. Okay, cheers, George. Right, I've got to go. I really need a poo now, so I'm going to go. Cheers. Right.
Okay, no, don't talk to me about needing a poo.
Father figure. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Elton John. Fuck off! I'm trying.
I'm in the middle of a tale. Leave me alone.
Yeah, he's got in a cab. What did he say? Oh, can you turn it around? Fuck me.
You don't reference needing a poo and having to crack on with the job, because you know what happened to me last week. I thought you were.
This is one of these fantastic behind the scenes stories that when people watch a forthcoming Late Break show, they're going to know, like they did with that one where you were shit-faced at a Christmas market. They're now going to watch it with the certain knowledge that something is going on that's not immediately obvious.
Do you know what? It's actually, at the time that you'll be listening to this, it is the newest video. It's the latest Barnfind video of a TVR. And we rocked up there, and I packed 2 strong coffees for the 2.5 hour drive to the location. And I haven't been sleeping brilliantly lately. I think it might be just the mugginess and the lightness. I don't know, but what I do know is that by the time I got to the barn, which was a real barn on a farmyard, absolutely pouting for a loaf, and then it dawned on me that there really wasn't the time or anywhere to go, so I just had to crack on and just hope that it would disappear into the secondary chamber, and then hours went by. Hours. We even stopped for lunch. I had lunch, so I was putting more in on the conveyor belt going in, but nothing was being unloaded. It's not healthy. And yeah, got to the end of the day and then drove away. And I think I left you a voicemail at the services, which I got to. By which point I had to John Wayne my way in, and. I felt the same. What a huge reward, though, for a post Barnfind shoot. It was very nice.
Yeah, I suppose it's something to look forward to, isn't it?
It's something to look forward to, Richard.
A hard day.
Yeah.
Getting a car out of the barn, yeah. Good. Well, there we go. Little BTS bonus fact there for people listening to this. As a helicopter goes over my shed.
Well, I've got a Stellantis question. Yeah. Now, my Stellantis question is, does Stellantis Group, do they make any tractors these days? Does Fiat make a tractor now?
Well,
and is it the Fiat Group, or is it one of those ones where, like, you know, Ford used to make tractors and they were called Ford New Holland or whatever, and now New Holland is not owned by Ford, I don't think.
Because now Iveco
is
part of
Fiat Iveco.
Stellantis, is it not? Or let's have a look. Hang on.
We should know this stuff.
Or is it? Yeah, we should.
Well, I'm just being. I'm being curious with everybody. I'm just being curious.
Right. I've got the list of brands here. This is off their website. So this is a good quiz, isn't it? Can you name all of Stellantis? I bet no one can. I bet people at Stellantis can't. But Abarth, no tractors. Chrysler, no tractors. Dodge, no. Fiat
used to make tractors.
Sure. Yeah. Lancia, Opel, Ram, Vauxhall, Peugeot, Maserati, Jeep, DS, Citroen and Alfa.
Citroen tractors? Pretty sure they don't make tractors.
No.
Okay. This is a little bit...
Tractor. Why do you ask?
Well, I'm asking this because... hang on. I know just... Fiat Tractors...
Fiat Trattori was a separate company.
Yeah, and it purchased US manufacturers Ford New Holland in 1990 and then Case International in 1999. The Case purchase led to consolidating all tractor production under CNH Industrial and the retirement of the Fiat brand on tractor. So hang on, the Fiat tractor brand bought all the other brands and then stopped using their name. It's very strange. There we go. So no.
So CNH is now. Where's Iveco in all this then? Because I don't see them.
Is it just trucks, not tractors? It's not heavy.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the thing. I don't think they do. Yeah. Okay. Why are you asking about Stellantis?
I'm asking about Stellantis-based tractor action because the other day, your kids are younger than mine. So do you still watch Shaun the Sheep?
Yes. My daughter occasionally watches Shaun the Sheep. Yeah.
Is it Shaun the Sheep where the farmer listens to sort of like heavy trance every time he gets in the tractor and drives it really recklessly from cold, I hasten to add. Is that Shaun the Sheep? I think it is.
I think the farmer in Shaun the Sheep has got a flat cap and he can't see his eyes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He has no eyes. Yeah. He has no eyes. But I'm sure he listens to sort of heavy trance every time he gets in the tractor. I might have made this up when my kids were young and I was just delirious watching it. But I'm pretty sure, because...
I can't say with confidence either way. It doesn't ring a bell, but...
Well, I think he does. But I'm gonna put my stake in the sand there. So I'm just... I thought... I couldn't remember if it was Shaun the Sheep or Sausage Wallet and Gromit. That other... I've just realised, by the way, Wallace and Gromit. Which one's the human? Is it Wallace? It's Wallace, isn't it?
Wallace.
Yeah, Wallace.
Yeah.
Wallace has got his life sorted. Wallace, I don't think he has a job, but he obviously earns enough to just keep a house and lead quite a chilled out lifestyle with a dog.
Is he an inventor? Is that the thing he's supposed to be?
Oh, I don't know. What do you mean? He's invented, the wrong trousers and things, but...
yeah, but that's a good question. I
think he should just continue down the road of other types of unusual, slightly useless trousers, and maybe Piers Brosnan could commission a pair of very, very billowy. They could be parachute trousers, or he can invent the air brake shirt for David Coverdale.
Oh well, no, I mean a vital service to all 80s rock stars.
For what? In case of brake failure, where that little light on the dashboard's been on for some time saying, I don't think you've got enough brake fluid in me. I'm just going to put that out there. But I don't think you're listening.
Did you know that Gromit is supposed to be a beagle?
No.
Not buying that. He's too big for a beagle, and he's all like his legs are too long, and he's not a beagle at all. That can't be right.
He's also very intelligent. Are beagles intelligent? I don't know.
Yeah, they are, but they're very stubborn.
Are they really?
Yeah, I used to have a girlfriend who had a beagle, and it was a lovely dog, but it was very stubborn.
You stubborn beagle.
And apparently, this is a characteristic of the breed. So yeah, I don't know, but
well, so yeah, I think it must be Shaun the sheep with the trance tractor farmer. I just love the fact that he mutters. He's constantly annoyed. The farmer is and doesn't have any eyes.
Yes, he's a mumbler. Yeah.
But he gets in the tractor, and it's like when people have, and we've all done it before. You've got in the car the day after, and you've left the volume of your music up probably higher than you should. You might have been doing a lot of motorway work. So higher speed, you need to put the volume up, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's easily done.
However, the tractor that plays the heavy trance it's so loud. It's so you can't even hear the engine. You can't even hear the clattery diesel above the uplifting darts. And then he drives incredibly erratically, like I said, sometimes taking out hedges and gates. So he's either pissed, blind, or he's so off his noggin on the uplifting Stellantis tunes.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah, which is why I was thinking maybe it's a Stellantis tractor, and that is that's preset as part of the tractor.
Yeah, you can't do anything about it. It's just,
some older generation farmers have complained. They said, "Look, I've always liked Fiat tractors, but the problem is the low end of the volume on the radio is not low. It's still actually very loud,
ear splitting."
Yeah.
Yes. Tractors are a bad place. My parents had some friends who were farmers, and the farmer David, he's in the tractor all day a lot of the time, but he had the radio on, but he never knew the names of any of the songs. I think he just used to have Radio 1 on in the 80s, because famously he said to his son once, he heard Wham's new single, and he went, he was like, "I like that new Wham song, Shake Me Up, the Party's Over."
Oh,
it's not called that, Dad. It's not called anything like
"Shake
that.
Me Up, the Party's Over"?
Shake me up, the party's over. Yeah, but that's it. He was famous for not knowing the names of any songs, or not knowing the correct names of any songs, because he couldn't really hear them properly. So he used to just make up his own words based on what he thought they were. But
well, that's one of the few
tractors.
That's one of the few, I guess, one of the few advantages of DAB. It can give you a track listing or a artist on screen instantly.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's a good
and all
point.
that. Yeah, I say one of the few advantages, because if you live in a rural area like Wales, where lots of farmers do the farming thing, all you hear is just squelch, and then maybe 2 seconds of the song, and then just enormous amounts of squelch, and then silence. So,
is it bad in Wales? I don't know.
Really bad.
I can't remember last time.
DAB in Wales, they're not friends. No, they're not friends. Other people listening to this must have come to the conclusion that DAB still isn't all that.
For many years in the broadcasting industry, I believe it was known as doesn't actually broadcast.
Really?
Because it didn't work very well, yeah. Oh, can I just say thank you to a chap who I got off the train back from London the other week when we've been doing our live shows.
Yeah.
And that evening I got off the train in Bath, and I was just waiting for a cab to take me home because I was feeling lazy. And a man just walked past and went, "Like your podcast," and sort of kept walking. It's like a drive-by compliment.
Oh.
But it was very nice.
Oh, that is...
I was very tired that evening, and it was just a lovely little thing to hear.
You on a bench with a bag of cans, a little bit pissed, and maybe
I just got a bag
bit of vomit coming out of the corner.
Tennant's super. Now, I was standing in the pickup area behind Bath Station, waiting for a taxi to pull up. And then the reason I bring this up is firstly to say thank you to that person who did a drive-by compliment, or a walk-by compliment. But then a man pulled into the pickup area. For people who are familiar with the layout of this, there's a tunnel through, a very narrow tunnel through under the railway tracks, which are elevated, and into a little pickup area at the back. And I could hear this engine noise, sort of quite growly, queuing to come through the tunnel behind another couple of cars. And they got out of the way, and into view came what at a glance was a Ferrari.
Okay.
But it was very obvious very quickly that it wasn't, because it was one of those replicas where the proportions are just a little bit off.
Oh, it was a no-name Ferrari.
Yeah, the engine was quite loud, but it was very obviously 4-cylinder, so I'm guessing MR2 based. And it was a convertible. It was a warm evening. The guy got the roof down. He was picking up somebody else from the back of the station. And I haven't thought about this for a while, but I was just like, I don't know how I feel about those replicas, because on the one hand, they're just a bit of fun. It's
they are.
No harm, no foul. It's just, it's fine. You want that? It's okay. Well, the other, I'm just going to go, why didn't you just keep it as an MR2? They're quite nice. Why would you go to all this bother? Assuming he did. Maybe he didn't. Maybe someone else did. He just bought the car as a bit of fun. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what I think about them. I kind of oscillate on it.
I think Are you
fine with them?
I'm coming around to being fine with it, because there's some cars that I'm driving in the time of my life now where I might not necessarily like the look of them that much, and in the previous Johnny would have just dismissed them instantly. And now I'm kind of going, do you know what? I can see the attraction of having one of these as your little escape car and a bit of driving joy. But I think that also comes about, like, when I was younger, I probably cared more about the aesthetics of a car and much less about the driving behaviour. And now I'm more about the way it drives and probably a little less about the looks, or ideally that it has both. But that's always the hope, isn't it?
I went to a car show the other weekend.
The one where you sent me those photos?
Oh, God, we haven't talked about that, have we? No. Yes. Well, because I was going to say, at the car show, very eclectic, local car shows, you can't beat them for the eclecticism of the cars on display. It's incredibly random, and all the better for it. And I saw an MGB GT V8 on those fabulous Dunlop wheels that came on. I used to hate MGBs, and I find myself these days just sort of going, okay, yeah, all right.
I used to hate MGBs, and it's not hate anymore. It's, I look at them and I go, I know new shells are available, and I look at the arches and I think some JDM style clip-on arches might work on that. And then I think, although the Rover V8 was a nice engine, it's very old now, so what else could we put in there? And before you know it, I've built myself a fire-breathing, hell-raising MGB that would startle and surprise men of a certain age with wicker picnic baskets. But a younger generation will go, do you know what? I thought MGBs were cack, but this one might bring me around. So I'm passing the inspirational gift along the line, aren't I? And going, I thought MGBs were cack too, but hey, check this out. There's hope yet.
Check Johnny's V8 powered JDM spec.
Johnny, it'd probably be
inexplicably JDM.
Do you remember
spec car.
Do you remember the MGC?
Yes.
Which I think my brother said to me the other day. He just laughed. He said it was like twice as heavy as the aluminium Rover 3.5 litre engine, like half the power. And he said it made the car pretty much not go around any corners. So it's sort of like, if you were ticking the options box, it was like, do you want this to just be completely worse? Yes. Okay.
Yes, please.
But it does have a bulge in the bonnet that looks a little bit different.
I was going to say, but I do like bonnet bulges. Ooh, yes. Bonnet bulges with a chrome trim across the middle. Yes, I do like those. So yes, I'll have one. Yes, great. Yes,
but
I don't know. I haven't kept abreast of MGC developments.
It was good.
Could they have people sorted them out a bit now? Like, as in, made those engines a bit better and adjusted the suspension to compensate for the sheer weight of it, or are they
to stop it from endoing every time you put the brakes on? I actually don't know. I'm going to plead ignorance, put my hand in the air, and say I don't know.
I'm sure people will set us straight on this, but MGC, I think they wouldn't have a particular regard with it. But no, the car we were going to mention is the car of the show for me, which was a Citroen C6.
Oh my gosh!
With, oh gosh, from a distance it looks like terrible paint fade and lacquer peel.
I'm bringing the picture up now because I actually stood back and went, what?
And you get close and it is a full airbrushed lion, like a lion's face on the bonnet of a C6. Now, on the bonnet of an old Camaro or something, or even on the bonnet of, I don't know, maybe an old Granada or something.
I'm just scrolling through.
But a C6, it's so puzzling.
I just found the picture on your WhatsApp and I scrolled up, and just after it, you sent me a picture of those two guys in rubbish suits.
Oh, it's the bloke from Blue, isn't it? And his dad, apparently, in incredible early 2000s spec suits with very parallel but slightly wrinkly legs.
No, so this C6, it's exactly as you said. It looks like either there's been loads of micro scratches and swirls gone on the bonnet down to the white primer. And then you realise that no, it has had a male lion's face detailed, airbrushed onto the black car's bonnet, and it looks like a really good piece of airbrushing actually.
I was going to say it's a really good, really detailed. You can see sort of all individual hairs in the lion's mane and beard. It's really impressively done. But on a C6, that's the bit I just can't get my head around.
What conclusion did the person come to? Because it's not the rest of the car's not even the rest of the car's not modified at all.
No, it's absolutely standard. Factory alloys. It looks very good condition. It raises so many questions. In fact, if there is anybody, I don't know if it's a local car. I've never seen it around before. But
should we give out the number plate? Should we give out the number plate? So
no, I don't think.
Well, they were a car show. Come on.
Yeah, true. But I think if you're not going to go, which C6 with the lion airbrush on the bonnet? Oh, that one. Now you've given me the reg. I know exactly which car you mean.
Find another.
There were so many to choose from. Find another. It is a very find another.
Yeah. Ranulph would be. He would absolutely love this.
Car of the show for me, but for mostly because of just how many questions it raised in my head that could not be answered. So if anyone's aware of this C6 and they know the story or know the owner, or you are the owner.
So hang on a minute.
Do get in touch.
So is that why your Fiat Panda 100 horsepower is not off the road because it's broken? It's actually in a paint shop right now having a stag airbrushed meticulously onto the bonnet. Is that what's happening?
I thought about that, but I decided in the end just to go for a ring-tailed lemur on the roof.
Oh, okay. See, I'm going to go for.
I like them; they're funny.
On the Honda Element, I've decided to go for some funfair art instead on the bonnet. So I'm going to have Max Verstappen stood next to.
But it looks like he's been beaten up.
Yeah, next to Carlos Sainz Jr., and they both look like they've got some strange swellings. You know, like they've been stung by a
wasp attack.
Yeah, they've been stung.
Horrible wasp attack. Yeah.
They're in a foreign country and the nature's got to them a bit.
Max Verstappen anaphylactic shock and
that.
Okay, well, if you have any intel about mysteriously airbrushed Citroen C6, or indeed anything else you want to talk to us about, it's hello@smithandsniff.com.
Yeah.
And on that note, we should probably bring things into land.
Well, I've got to mention one more thing, because I've been meaning to mention it for 3 podcasts and I keep forgetting. And it's all about the fact that the R34 celebrated 25 years old about a month ago. It will be now, I think. And that's only significant because, of course, that means they can come into the States, and the US has driven the prices up of them massively. They're like knocking on the door of £250,000, I think, for immaculate V-spec Bayside Blue examples of the vehicle. And it reminded me of the fact that when I started working on Car Magazine, the editor at the time, sweet guy, Greg Fountain, He recalled the story of when TVs and movies Steve Coogan used to write for the mag and run a long term when it was new R34 Skyline. And apparently Nissan were not happy with him when it came back and was handed back, because Greg said, in fact, he said it was me that took the keys from Steve, and Steve just said something like, there's not much fuel in it, I'm sorry, I've been very busy lately. And he went into the multi-storey car park where Steve had left it, and he said, he unlocked it, he got in, and smelt something, and realised there was a fresh dog's mess on the back seat.
Oh my God.
An actual walnut whip just sat there on the back seat. Apparently Steve's dog had curled one out because his dog used to hang around with him a lot. and had sold the back seat, and then Steve just was in a bit of a rush and just left it. Now,
oh my God.
I mean, quite bad. Obviously, Nissan weren't particularly happy about it. Neither was Greg Fountain, I would have thought, having to drive around in a GTR with Shat on the seat. I want to know where that car is now. I want to try and find the reg of that car. It'll be Express Office R34.
Yeah, you'll be able to, if you could find the mags with it in, you'll be able to track
yes,
down,
indeed, a dog shat on the back seat.
You'll at least be able to ID it and then hopefully put out a shite out or
but
something.
Also,
but the dog mess GTR.
Yeah, you've probably met Steve Coogan in your previous lines of work off of Top Gear and all that. But
it's sort of, yeah. I've been in the same room with him and said hello.
Okay, you didn't talk much else about cars?
No, I always thought I'd love to chat cars with Steve Coogan because it feels like he's on our wavelength, and he always sort of puts a lot of effort into the right cars for his characters.
He does,
which I appreciate.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's a shame. You think he would also respect. He'd be a respecter of upholstery.
Well, unless the dog did a covert plop. And he arrived in London. He was in a rush. He was looking at his clock, thinking, "I've got to get on." Push the seat forward and just said, "Come on, out you get to the dog." Wasn't really looking at the dog, just waving it out. Of course, meanwhile, the dog had been in the traffic all this time and thought, "I've got to go," and just done it and then run. Steve's just locked the car and ran off, and that's that.
But maybe Greg also, he had at least done him the courtesy of warning him, but Greg misheard when he thought he said fuel, but he actually said there's not a lot of poo in it. And,
well, not compared to last time.
It could have been worse.
It could have been full, and it wasn't. It was just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all been there, Rich.
Well, there we go. That's a fabulously fascinating story. Well, if you are out there and you know that you own a former Nissan press car that was loaned as a long-termer to Steve Coogan via Car Magazine, then get in touch and tell us what it smells like these days before you put it in a container to the US because you've sold it for 900 grand. All right, well, anyway, there we go. So hello@smithandsniff.com if you would like to share that or anything else with us. And we must now bring this to a close. But before we do, I have three things to tell you. One, Johnny has a solo YouTube channel. It's called The Elasticate Vapes Show, in which Johnny attaches smoking replacement devices to bungee cords in order to prank thick-necked men in E46 coupes. If that's not to your taste, because it's made up, there's always the Late Break Show. Lots of excellent videos on there, including a barn-find TVR presented by a man who really, really needs to drop the kids off, but can't because he's in a barn with a TVR. Second thing I've got to tell you is I've written various books over the years. Somebody on social media the other week said you never mention any of your older books, and it's like, well, I just it never occurs to me, so I'm going to this week. My dad had one of those. That's one of my older books. I think it's probably, you could still get it off Amazon.
I remember that. Yeah, I didn't know you then, but I have a copy.
Yeah, it did quite well, that book. It was quite popular at the time, but that was a long time ago now. So I co-did it with Giles Chapman, who is an excellent author in his own right, and he did that toy book that we were talking about last year or something.
Yeah, he did.
Story of Matchbox and Corgi and all that.
That's right, and all that.
No, I'm plugging other people's books by mistake.
Stop
Anyway,
it.
there we go. Just go and buy a book this week. Vow to yourself you will go and buy a book by someone. I would love it if it was me. And the third thing that I have to tell you is that I can't find my notes. And anyways,
well, come on, you've done very well. You've done extremely well.
What have I done here? I think I've scrolled down far too far. There we go. Okay, what have we got here? Yes, New York is the same latitude as Madrid, and Naples and Istanbul and Beijing.
Can you just say that again?
New York City is on the same latitude, broadly, as Madrid, and also Naples, Istanbul and Beijing.
Okay.
It's weird, isn't it? You always think New York's sort of quite far north because they get chilly winters, but it's all your Gulf Stream and shit. New York is certainly further south than the whole of the UK.
New York. Yeah. I miss New York.
Hey, I'm walking here. It's good, isn't it, New York?
Yeah.
It's a nice place. Interesting place. Well, let's go.
Yeah, should we just go?
We've had some people asking if we would, and we go, look, it'd just be like you and us in a room. It's probably not worth our time, but who knows? If you're in New York and you'd like us to come and do a podcast live recording, and you have at least 100 friends you could bring with you, guaranteed, then maybe we'll look into it.
Yeah, we will.
But for now, don't forget, tickets still on sale for our Bicester Heritage live show. Bicester Heritage in Bicester, so good they named it twice. Please come along. We'll see you on the 19th of July. But in the meantime, that's that for this, and we will do all this again next week. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Bye.
You know just what to do. Like and subscribe and review. You know just what to do. Like and subscribe and review. You know just what to do. Like and subscribe and review.
Ella.